Two more mass shootings have hit California one day after a gunman killed 10 people, then himself in Monterey Park. This time in the northern part of the state, two mass shootings have left at least 8 dead in Half Moon Bay and Oakland. 7 people were killed in Half Moon Bay yesterday. The San Mateo County Sheriff's Office says 67-year-old Chun-Li Zhao is in custody as a suspect in the shooting, the second senior citizen suspected of a mass shooting in the state, and to use a semi-automatic gun. San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus.
Zhao was taken into custody without incident, and a semi-automatic handgun was located in his vehicle. Zhao is believed to have acted alone, and there is no further threat to this community. This is a devastating tragedy for this community and the families touched by this unspeakable act of violence.
She says 4 people were found dead, 1 critically wounded from gunshots mid-afternoon. 3 others were found dead at a business several miles away. The connection is unclear. She says he worked for at least one of them. Both locations were agricultural businesses. San Mateo County Supervisor President David Pine called for greater gun control.
In the days and the weeks ahead of us, we really have to come together and figure out how to go ahead and wrap our arms around to address this problem of gun violence, which has afflicted our state here in recent days and has afflicted us here at home.
In Oakland last night, a mass shooting left 1 dead and 7 injured. Meanwhile, new details have emerged about the Monterey Park mass shooting in Southern California. Max Pringle reports.
Investigators searching the home of the suspected gunman, Hu Can Tran, said they found a rifle, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, and evidence he was manufacturing gun silencers in his home. Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna told reporters that investigators are still looking for a motive behind the shooting at a Lunar New Year celebration at a Monterey Park dance hall.
Our job is to collect every shred of this awful puzzle that has been laid out by this suspect. So, work in progress.
The 72-year-old Tran fired 42 rounds in all at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio. Authorities said it was the deadliest mass shooting in LA County history. Police in the Los Angeles County community of Hemet said Tran had visited the police department twice this month to report that he'd been the victim of fraud, theft, and poisoning by family members more than 2 decades ago. He promised to return with evidence, but never did. For KPFA News, I'm Max Pringle.
President Joe Biden released a statement this morning sending prayers for those killed and injured in what he called a senseless act of gun violence, and he urged an assault weapons ban. He said yesterday California Senator Dianne Feinstein, alongside Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut and others, reintroduced a federal assault weapons ban and legislation that would raise the minimum purchase age for assault weapons to 21. He called on lawmakers to pass them. California has had 4 mass shootings in 7 days. A mass shooting also took place yesterday in Chicago. 2 were killed and 3 injured. And in Des Moines, Iowa, a young man, 18 years of age, shot and killed 2 other teens at a school for at-risk youth. The Gun Violence Archives has documented 39 mass shootings so far this year. Attorneys for the family of a black motorist who died after a violent encounter with Memphis police say officers beat Tyree Nichols for 3 minutes in a savage encounter reminiscent of the infamous 1991 police beating of Los Angeles motorist Rodney King. Attorneys and family privately viewed body cam footage of Nichols' killing yesterday and spoke after. Here's family attorney Tony Rappanucci.
He was a human piñata for those police officers. It was an unadulterated, unabashed, nonstop beating of this young boy for 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
That is what we saw in that video.
Family attorney Ben Crump said the police body camera video showed Nichols was shocked, pepper sprayed, and restrained after he was pulled over on January 7th. The police department fired 5 officers who were involved. All 5 were black. A Georgia judge will consider making public the special grand jury report in Donald Trump's quest to overturn the state's presidential election results in 2020. Trial over whether to release the report is scheduled for today. The special grand jury did not have the power to issue indictments indictments, and it will ultimately be up to Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis to decide whether to seek an indictment and prosecute. The judge could redact some of the report if he makes it public. Willis began investigating meddling in the state's elections after a recording went public of Trump urging Georgia's Secretary of State to find the votes needed to overturn his loss to Democrat Joe Biden. 4 members of the Oath Keepers extremist group were convicted of seditious conspiracy in the January 6th Capitol attack and a second major trial of far-right extremists accused of plotting to forcibly keep President Donald Trump in power. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.